Someone bumps your motorcycle for 1 second, and when you look back, it's already rolling away. That's exactly the moment a loud, sensitive alarm pays for itself. Today, we're counting down the 7 best motorcycle alarms from budget-friendly to why didn't I buy this earlier? And by the end, you'll know which one fits your parking situation, your bike, and your peace of mind. Because not every alarm is loud in the right way or smart enough to avoid embarrassing false triggers. Seven, Powvine bike alarm. Let's start with the Powvine, which on paper is a really tempting choice because it's rechargeable and built around that simple idea. Stick it somewhere hidden, arm it with the remote, and let vibration do the rest. In day-to-day use, it's the kind of alarm you install in 10 minutes and immediately feel more protected. Especially if you park outside a lot or leave the bike in shared parking where people brush past it. And yes, when it goes off, it's loud enough to turn heads, which is the whole point of an alarm in the first place. Where this one shines is basic coverage. You're getting a vibration-triggered system that's meant to work across bikes, motorcycles, scooters, and more, and it's designed for people who want something universal rather than a complicated install. I tested it in the typical thief simulation, meaning shaking the bars, nudging the bike, bumping the seat, and it reliably reacted once dialed in. The remote makes it easy to arm and disarm quickly, which matters more than most people think. If it's annoying, you'll stop using it. But here's where the Powvine starts to feel more budget. Sensitivity can be a double-edged sword. Set it too high and you'll get nuisance chirps when someone bumps your bike in a crowded lot. Set it too low and the alarm may not react until the bike is already being moved more aggressively. It's not that it's unusable, it's that you'll spend a little time finding that sweet spot for your specific parking environment. Number 6. Kcmytoner bike alarm. This one is immediately more serious on specs. The manuals and product docs lean into a loud siren, adjustable sensitivity, and real weather resistance, including an IP65 rating that's reassuring if your bike lives outdoors. In testing, it did what you want a motorcycle alarm to do: respond fast to tampering and create that everybody look over here sound that makes thieves rethink their choices. One of the best parts is adjustability. You get 7 sensitivity levels, so you can tune it based on whether your bike sits in a calm garage or a busy street. Plus 3 volume levels, so you don't have to run maximum volume all the time. That flexibility is important because motorcycles get bumped for normal reasons: wind, people squeezing past, even a cover flapping, and a good alarm should let you dial in your threshold. Now the criticism: this alarm can feel a little feature-heavy without being perfectly foolproof. For example, the SOS-style function is a cool idea in theory, but in real life, features like tilt-based triggers can create confusion if the unit is installed slightly differently than expected, or if the bike leans and shifts on its stand. If settings aren't matched to your install angle, you can end up with behavior that feels inconsistent until you reconfigure it. Also, it's battery-based, and the manual notes typical usage and standby expectations that depend heavily on how often it's triggered and used, which means real-world mileage varies. 5. ONVIAN wireless bike alarm. The ONVIAN wireless alarm starts to feel like that easy upgrade that most riders actually stick with. The big win here is the day-to-day simplicity. Mount it discreetly, use the remote, and it becomes part of your routine in a way that doesn't feel like a project. In testing, it worked best as a layered deterrent, meaning it pairs well with a physical lock, because the alarm handles attention while the lock handles delay. What stood out most is how usable the remote experience is. You're not trying to do a complicated sequence. You can arm, disarm, and use the find function without thinking about it. That matters when you're parking in a hurry, or when it's raining, or when you're wearing gloves and just want a fast beep, done. The ability to choose sensitivity levels also helps a lot in preventing false alarms. In real-world use, I liked it for parking lots and apartment garages, where the threat is less professional thief with a van and more someone opportunistically rolling it away or tampering. The alarm reacts quickly to vibration, and it's loud enough to draw attention across a typical parking area. Where it's not perfect is that it's still fundamentally a vibration-based system, so placement and sensitivity tuning are everything. Put it somewhere too exposed and a thief might spot it. Hide it too deep and the sound can get muffled. The trick is finding a mounting spot that's hidden but still lets the siren escape. Four, Ussuperink bike alarms. Ussuperink is the first option that gave me that this is a proper security gadget vibe, mostly because it's built around the same core essentials done right. Loud siren, adjustable sensitivity, and remote control that doesn't feel flimsy. In testing, it had that satisfying warn first, then scream behavior, where you get a quick reaction and then the full alarm if vibration continues, which is great for discouraging casual tampering. The feature set is exactly what most motorcycle riders need. 7 sensitivity levels let you tune it for your bike and parking setup, and the IP55 style weather resistance means it can live on the bike without you babying it. There's also adjustable volume, which sounds minor until you realize full volume in a quiet neighborhood can be socially complicated. Realistically, this is an alarm you can run daily. Arm it when you step away, disarm it when you're back, and you're not constantly worried about rain or dust. And if you mount it smartly, under a seat, behind a panel, tucked into a fairing pocket, you get solid protection without advertising where the alarm lives. The way I describe it, not flashy, not gimmicky, just a well-rounded deterrent. It doesn't replace a serious lock, but it adds the kind of psychological pressure thieves hate: noise, attention, and urgency. If you want a dependable remote alarm without paying extra for branding, Ussuperink is a strong middle to upper pick. Number 3, Fosmon bike alarm. This is one of the most fully thought out vibration alarms in this category. The big headline is that it pushes up to 113 dB, includes adjustable sensitivity, and adds extra utility features like an SOS style function and a vehicle search function. So it's not just about scaring thieves. It's also about making daily ownership easier. In testing, Fosmon felt consistent. Once sensitivity was dialed in, it reacted predictably to the kinds of movement that actually matter, like someone grabbing the bars, shifting the bike, or trying to move it off the stand. It's also the kind of loud that cuts through street noise, which is important because a quiet, loud alarm is basically useless outdoors. The vehicle search function ended up being more helpful than expected. In crowded parking, especially events, markets, or big apartment lots, being able to trigger a sound to locate your bike is a small quality of life feature that feels surprisingly premium. And because it's remote controlled, it's quick and doesn't require you to touch the unit. What really pushed it into the top 3 is balance. It's not overly complicated, but it has enough features to feel like it was designed around real use cases, not just a spec sheet. It's also commonly described as waterproof with an IP55 rating, which matches the leave it on the bike reality. If the goal is a smart, loud, daily use alarm that adds both deterrence and convenience, Fosmon delivers. 2. YOHOOLYO Alarm. YOHOOLYO takes a different approach because it's not just an alarm unit, it's an alarm disc lock. That matters because now you're combining 2 types of security: a physical barrier that prevents wheel rotation and an alarm that screams if someone messes with it. In testing, this felt like a huge step up in real-world protection because a thief has to deal with both noise and resistance. The alarm output is listed around 110 dB, and it's paired with a metal build that's meant to be sturdy and durable, which is exactly what you want in a disc lock. It also comes with a reminder cable, one of those simple add-ons that can save you from the classic mistake of riding off with a disc lock still on. Using it is straightforward. Line it up with the disc brake holes, press to lock, and you're set. In testing, the value is psychological and practical. Thieves see a lock and often move on, and if they still try something, the alarm adds that immediate pressure. It's especially effective for quick stops, cafes, fuel stations, outside the gym, places where you want fast security without installing anything. The limitation is also obvious. It only works if your bike has a compatible disc brake with holes and enough clearance for the pin size. So it's not universal in the way a stick-on alarm is, but for riders who can use it, it's a serious upgrade over vibration alarms alone. Number 1. Wsdcam Bike Alarm. The Wsdcam is the alarm that felt the most complete and the easiest to recommend for most riders. It's vibration triggered, hits up to 113 dB and gives you the big 3 that matter: 7 sensitivity levels, 3 volume levels, and a remote that makes arming and disarming painless. In testing, it was the best mix of loud, customizable, and consistent. What I liked most is that it's designed around daily practicality. There's a vehicle search function, multiple ringtones for that search feature, and even an SOS function, plus a low battery indicator so you're not guessing whether it's ready. Those aren't nice-to-haves once you live with an alarm. They're the difference between something you use every day and something you abandon after 2 weeks. Performance-wise, it reacted quickly to real tampering motions and didn't feel overly twitchy once set correctly. That matters because the ideal alarm is not the one that goes off the most. It's the one that goes off only when it should, at a volume that makes people look. Wsdcam's adjustability makes it easier to hit that balance. It's also positioned as a waterproof alarm, which fits outdoor parking realities. And because it's a standalone unit you can hide on the bike, it layers well with whatever you already use: disc lock, chain, cover, without fighting your setup. If only one alarm goes on the list for most riders, Wsdcam is that pick. Loud, flexible, and built for everyday use, not just a quick unboxing test. Final thought, that's all for today, folks.